everyone, welcome to Maxim Foods Inside Track. It's Brisbane show day today, so a public holiday up here in Brisbane, beautiful sunny day. But the big news down under is obviously the Matildas. Their semi-final against England tonight, so the country is at fever pitch at the moment. The office is a bit of a split between Pommies and Australians, so yeah, there's a lot of tension in the office, Maxim office this week, so let's hope that Australia can get the victory and we can have bragging rights for the next few years. Running through the commodities now, so we'll start with whole milk powder. We saw a 10% decline last night on the auction. It wasn't a surprise as a result. The futures market and general sentiment did predict that pricing would ease off. Two main fundamentals there: North Asia still reasonably weak in demand, and New Zealand coming into their milk season. So not a lot on the horizon that looks to change that situation. We're at a 5-year low at the moment, but what it is telling is it is a good time for buyers to look at your 3 to 6 month positions on whole milk. Moving across to skim milk powder, yeah, we saw a negative result on the GDT last night, a lot more stable than what whole milk is behaving at the moment. So if we look across the globe, the EU demand holding up okay in the summer months there, and supply is starting to wane off as they go out of their season. So yeah, slightly more bullish on skim milk powder in the EU. In the US, things looking reasonably stable. Milk production's good, and demand reasonable as well. So if we look across to the New Zealand Australian market, a weak Aussie dollar is helping export pricing for Australian skim and helping pricing hold up a little bit. However, things are looking reasonably stable for a 3 to 6 month outlook on skim. As mentioned, butterfat has been the best performing of the commodities over the last 3 to 6 months. That continues. We have seen a slight decline on AMF and butterfat in the last 2 to 3 weeks. However, as a general rule, demand is holding up reasonably well, and supply is relatively stable. So out of all the commodities at the moment, the most price support at the moment is with butter, and for the next short to medium term, we probably will see a more stable pricing for butterfat. Having a look at whey powder, so sweet whey powder still very bearish, not a lot of demand soaking up a good supply, so we won't see a lot of activity on whey powder in the next 3 months. On the protein side of things, EU demand for PC, WPC, WPI has improved, which is seeing pricing creeping up. So we have documented in the past that we might have seen the bottom of the protein market, and we do see a bit of creep in pricing there. So yeah, slightly more bullish on proteins for the next 3 to 6 months. Finishing off with cheese, so if we're looking in the EU, good demand, food service and retail in the summer months over there, so things are picking up, and it looks a lot more brighter outlook for cheese in the EU. In the US, we've seen a lot of volatility. We saw a real rally on the CME 3 weeks ago, however that has died off a little bit, so things looking a bit more stable to bearish on US cheese at the moment. If we're looking over in Australia and New Zealand, Australian food service and retail has been stable to bearish demand, so we should see more product on the market as Australia and New Zealand come into their season. So we'd have to predict that it'd be a reasonably stable to bearish outlook for the next 3 months on cheese. Thanks very much for listening to today's Inside Track. I hope you have a great fortnight, and if you're tuning in tonight, go the Matildas.